If you choose to live off-grid, it can be like living in paradise. But if you're forced to live off-grid, it can be a living nightmare. This could be the video you need to see right now on Cabin Life.
Hello, welcome to our channel. We're all about sharing our adventures and experiences around our homestead and off-grid cabin here on our 40 acres in the wilderness of Ontario, Canada.
We enjoy life around the cabin, exploring, canoeing, hiking, campfire cooking, gardening, and sharing our love of nature.
If you haven't done so yet, consider subscribing and click the little notification bell so you won't miss anything. Right here on Cabin Life with Glenn and Maureen.
Hello, I'm Glenn. You know, living the off-grid, self-reliant lifestyle can be an appealing idea, especially for those who have grown up in the city with the hustle and bustle, growing up in the rat race and searching for another way. Sure, in the city, there's lots to do and there's lots to enjoy, but it all comes with a cost. The hectic schedule bogs one down, drains one of energy, and leaves one wanting to escape the noise, the pollution, the crowds, the traffic jams, and all the stress that goes with that whole package of suburbia. But escaping the city may or may not be for you. So, is an off-grid lifestyle right for... Hang on, I gotta move just a second. Well, that's a beautiful song. You know, that's great if you've already watched a bunch of YouTube videos preparing and educating yourself about the off-grid lifestyle and becoming more self-reliant. But don't be taken in by the romanticized versions of what the off-grid lifestyle is all about. Some channels portray through the lens the life about trying to become more self-reliant in the wilderness. But the truth is, their self-reliance comes from the YouTube viewers that drive hundreds of thousands of views that create advertising revenue each week to the YouTube channel owner. So in those cases, it's YouTube that helps make self-reliance. It has little to nothing to do with living off the grid or living off the land and becoming self-reliant. It's presented as reality, not as entertainment, but as real life. And it's misleading and it's misrepresenting the off-grid community and its lifestyle. And in my opinion, it's wrong. People look up to those channels for guidance and direction, and while some think they are getting authentic reality, they are simply seeing a dog and pony show, all for the camera and all for the viewer. For those channels who are becoming more self-reliant through their lifestyle and sharing their life, their real life experiences, kudos to you for keeping it real and being true to yourself and to your viewers. So why should you or why shouldn't you pursue an off-grid lifestyle? You should pursue an off-grid lifestyle if you want independence from the corporate infrastructure, from the power grid, the water grid, and the food supply chain. If you want to live a simpler, more organic and wholesome way of life on a day-to-day basis, a life of contentment, then an off-grid lifestyle may be right for you under certain conditions. Moving off-grid does not guarantee freedom from the corporate infrastructure that comes with the grid. Living off-grid doesn't even guarantee that you'll live a simpler lifestyle full of contentment. It depends on how you set up your new lifestyle and your attitude toward it. You may want to live off-grid, but if you aren't prepared for the challenges and pitfalls that come with it, then you may be in for a surprise that could crush your off-grid dream. Let's get real and talk about it. In order to move off-grid, many think they can just buy a piece of property where there's no services from the grid and dream of making a new life there. But without knowing a few things and without preparation and a few tools, the cards could be stacked against them if they haven't thought things through carefully. It may just be a matter of time before they realize that while the dream is worthwhile, the way it is brought into reality can become a nightmare and full of regret. What's an off-grid lifestyle anyway? That could mean many things to different people, but for you, it may mean getting back to simple living with less dependence on the grid. Maybe it's to become more self-sufficient and more self-reliant. You'll need the financial resources to acquire the property, the permits if needed, a building to live in, and a way to access the things you'll need to not only survive, but to thrive off-grid on a day-to-day basis. With financial resources, comes options. Having options is key. Options can help you make choices that will move you in the direction that is right for you and your family. So jumping into a major move and change in lifestyle is something you'll want to consider carefully. It means being prepared for those challenges that will come, and it's not if they will come, but when, because they will come. If you're on grid now and you want to plan to go off grid, take a look at your day from the time you wake to the time you go to sleep, and take a look at all the conveniences and all the things that you use each day. Make a list of all those items, all the gadgets, and take note of the services that are used, the water, the lights, power, etc. And then ask yourself, how many of those things are needed for an off-grid lifestyle, and can you do without those things and services? This exercise will help you define what off-grid means to you and to your family. Identify the conveniences and services you feel you need, then consider what it would be like without them. That's a big question. In fact, while still on grid, you may want to unplug those appliances that you don't need to be sure that you can do without them once you no longer have them to use in an off-grid situation. Figure out the must-haves so you'll know how much it costs to have those must-haves, so then there's no surprises down the road. An off-grid lifestyle can be set up the very first year, but for many, the financial resources simply aren't there. In fact, that's why some, not all, but some, choose the off-grid lifestyle in the first place, because they're struggling financially and searching for a way to escape the financial hardship. And some think, mistakenly, that moving to a new location and lifestyle will be the answer. Let's get real here. Without the money, essential systems simply cannot be put into place. And while a family may think they can endure a temporary or makeshift setup for a few days, a few weeks, or maybe a few months, but what if it leads into many months and possibly years of living without proper, efficient working systems that are needed for everyday living in an off-grid situation? Well, that could become a real source of stress. So having good working systems in place help make life much more comfortable. That's worth repeating. Skip back and replay that section. Some YouTube videos portray what an amazing lifestyle it is, showing the romantic storybook version, living the dream, simple, carefree, and self-reliant. One can't help but think, yeah, this is the life for me. Well, think again. How much do you see behind the camera? Ask yourself if you're willing to do the daily chores and keep up with the daily grind that can come with living off-grid and maintaining systems, keeping the lifestyle moving forward, not just surviving, but thriving and being content with the lifestyle choices you've made. Not only must you be willing to do the work, you must have the ability and stamina and knowledge to manage things. It must be sustainable. With proper preparation and financial resources, you can realize your dream of living off-grid and live a life full of contentment and happiness for you and your family. My point here is knowing what you want from off-grid living should be the determining factor as to how you'll get there. Here's 5 bonus points to consider. Number 5, off-grid living can be simple, but it's not easy. Number 4, know what you want from off-grid living. Number 3, plan for the long term. Be methodical in your plan. Number 2, be realistic about your goals and capabilities. Just be realistic. And number 1, make your journey fun and memorable. Enjoy the journey. Now that you've gotten this far in the video, and after considering what's been covered, if you still want to go after your dream of off-grid living, then congrats. You should continue making your dream become a reality. And for those who feel they aren't yet prepared for what needs to be done, that's okay too. Enjoy the videos and leave a comment if you will. We'd like to know your thoughts on this topic. We hope you've enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you have. That's all for now. For Maureen, I'm Glenn. Over and out, and take care.